And we're back with another episode of Lakers Latest. I'm Gerald Glassford, the host of the Lakers Latest podcast, part of the Fan Arc Network. Please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell down below so you can be notified when the latest Lakers Latest comes right to you on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, my friends at the Fan Arc Network have their own great channel. Go ahead and check it out by typing in Fan Arc on a YouTube search and it comes right up. They've got a ton of great shows, absolute ton of great shows waiting for you right there for my friends at FanArc. Also, as well, for you audio listeners, big hello to you. For if you can, please go ahead and follow the show. Also, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button if that's available, and that 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify is greatly appreciated as well. And a big shout out to my friends at Kalshi for sponsoring this video today, and I'll give you a lowdown on what Kalshi is all about a little later in the show. But if you're not checking out the NHL playoffs like the Golden Knights earlier tonight, go Knights go, go ahead and check them out as well. So Kalshi, appreciate it as always for sponsoring this video. Here we go for the summer now. It is now, I guess, fading into the background as far as the past season. The press conference for Rob Pelinka has already concluded earlier this week. The playoffs are now continuing without the Los Angeles Lakers. It's starting to settle in. It's starting to set in as far as the Lakers not being a part of it going on. But Rob Pelinka was the last one to make comments on the season for the Los Angeles Lakers and his desire to bring many of the members back, including LeBron James and Austin Reeves. Bring the gang back together. Well, before we get into any players and if they should come back, I wanted to go ahead and talk about the man himself, the president of basketball operations and GM, Rob Pelinka, who has said in recent days, with all the eyes that are now on him, with all the vice presidents Mark Walter has hired or moved over from the Dodgers organization to the Lakers organization that are all eyeing him at this point in time right now. He has said recently that he needs to think about getting a couple assistant GMs. And I'm just thinking to myself, wouldn't that been good? Oh, I don't know, say half a decade ago? Yeah, absolutely. Because Rob Pelinka is not a favorite of mine. He's not been someone I've wanted in that position for many years. I've been very frank and open about it. I know that some of the decisions that he's made have been extremely poor. Yes, he has made a good decision now and then, but most of his decisions have not been the wise ones, and his track record has shown that to be the case. I mean, I did talk about this with Caleb Ponce in regards to Masai Ujiri. When Masai Ujiri was hired, and Caleb Ponce from the New Century Press was talking about it. He indicated, yeah, he made a great move with the Kawhi move. It led them to a championship, and then he has made some up and down decisions, including some very curious decisions that are holding back the Toronto franchise today, which ultimately led to his demise in Toronto. And I'm thinking to myself, you could just basically copy and paste that same thing, that same phrasing onto Rob Pelinka. Has made a good move here or there and has been riddled with a whole bunch of bad decisions along the way. Just imagine if I know that it was said earlier this week by JJ Redick, man, we were going to try and do what we can to extend our rotation and make sure that depth and quality of the team is a lot better, especially for people coming in and subbing in for the starting lineup. And seeing how that was a really big problem as far as the difference in talent. Would have been nice though if we had kept Alex Caruso, Jordan Goodwin, Jay Huff, Scottie Pippen Jr. Couldn't have been nice. It wouldn't have been nice if we'd drafted, say, Jaime Jaquez Jr. Some of these guys that have really been, effective for other teams that the Lakers could have retained, kept, or drafted. That didn't because of poor talent evaluations on the part of one Rob Pelinka. And you're saying to yourself, with Goodwin, who had a great season with Phoenix, How could they have kept him? Well, they could have managed to keep him despite and still signed on Marcus Smart by trading other differentials, other individuals to go ahead and seeing what you could do to keep him. There are ways they could have kept him. If they wanted to have kept Goodwin bad enough and still signed Marcus Smart, they could have done that. And he chose not to and made a poor decision in doing so. He could have kept Alex Caruso. I mean, I had a dinner the other night with my brother-in-law along with the rest of the family, and they were talking at length about knowing I'm there about the Lakers and OKC, and they said Alex Caruso just looks happier, and I hear he's been talking about how much more he enjoys it there. And I said, I'm sure I would too if I was dumped and let go and not retained, even though I wanted to stay a Laker back earlier this decade. And I was let go. I became a free agent and was not retained because they decided to choose THT over me. I would be upset about that too. And my brother-in-law, one of my brother-in-law said, "Hey, what happened to THT? Which team is he on?" I said, "He's not even in the league. JHS, not even in the league." The draft choices. Who is the only draft choice to make a contribution on the Lakers this decade? Well, you would have to say Max Christie, who is on Dallas right now, because you can't say Duthiero. He hasn't done anything yet. The draft choice that they made with Jade McDaniels, he's really a great part of a team. Unfortunately, that team is in Minnesota. So the talent evaluation by Rob Pelinka is something that I have an issue with, and I do not and have not for years not wanted him to be retained in that position. But it looks like he still, for the foreseeable future, is going to stay in that position. And I know Craig, my man Craig, talked about, he's just going to be a puppet. And I know Joe Soro talks about all the time that, that he's not going to be making all the basketball decisions. No, he is going to be responsible for the basketball decisions. Nobody is president and GM and is not going to make the basketball decisions. He is. Everybody seems to want to deny it that wants to deny it, but he is going to be making the basketball decisions, which is not in the best interest of the Los Angeles Lakers, in my opinion. So if you share that same opinion, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. But yeah, I know my friend Stefan Piscano, the Stefan Piscano podcast, he and I had a conversation. He is a ardent Rob Pelinka supporter. Can't always back it up, well, because the fact is, again, for every Luka Doncic that he hits on, there's a Jared Vanderbilt. For every Rui Hashimura he hits on, there's a JHS. There's a THT. There's a Russell Westbrook. I mean, I drove hundreds of miles the day that Russell Westbrook got traded just to complain on the air about how bad a trade it was. And the great thing about YouTube is it's still on the air. And the great thing about Apple Podcasts and Spotify, it's still on the air. You guys can hear it and watch it. My original thoughts as it happened on that day. So again, I think that Rob Pelinka is just not the right GM for this team. I haven't for years, but we're going to be stuck with him for at least a foreseeable future. Assistant GMs aside, he does need more help. And in fact, the team needs more help than what he can do because his evaluations, especially in a year where there is cap space, where they were accruing more draft choices, and also could be making a draft choice here later on in June. That is of great concern to me that he will be making the right choices and in not doing what he did last summer and virtually nothing because the financially and fiscally beneficial signings of DeAndre Ayton and the DeAndre Ayton experience, Marcus Smart and Jake LaRavia only yielded one good choice out of all three of them, and that was Marcus Smart. And again, that was I think the one deal that he was agreed upon by everyone that said was good enough for the evaluation for the money paid out on that one. DeAndre Ayton up and down. It just and then the end it just turned out to be a bad move. Jake LaRavia, ever since the calendar turned 2026, he is been even worse than even in his two troubled rookie and second years in Memphis. He's even shot worse than that. So, with that said, again, Rob Pelinka is not the guy that I think should be leading this team going forward. I know my man Pinty agrees with me on that. Do you agree with me or you disagree with me? Let me know. I would love to hear it. I'll go ahead and I'll answer respectfully. Please let me know below, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. But yeah, and another reason, another little thing that comes out. It's funny because these things always come out of the woodwork after the season ends. Just like the injury to Luca being more serious than what we thought it was. Funny how that information came out, about what it was, how it was reevaluated in Spain and much more serious. Funny how it comes out after the season ends. Yeah, it could have been nice if you told us sooner. But ESPN article that was put out there on Thursday by Dave McMenamin noted on March 31st, after the big victory by the Lakers to cap off a 16-2 March, I believe it was, against the Cleveland Cavaliers, where JJ got his 100th victory as a coach. LeBron got his 1229th victory, career win for LeBron James. That moved him past Kareem for the most victories by any player, both combined regular season playoffs. Not to mention, it was Luka Doncic. It was his 15. He beat 15,000 career points. He passed that mark, and Rui Hachimura passed 5,000. That was all noted by Dave McMenamin in the article. But after the game, after that specific game, Rob walked by all of those players, especially LeBron, who is, that's history. That's NBA history, and walked right by him and gave the game ball to JJ Redick. And yeah, read the room, or do something to honor all those gentlemen on the either personal achievements or NBA achievements that they achieved on that night. Just read the room, Rob, and it's just decisions like that, that just has me saying that this guy has just not been the guy that you want leading the LA Lakers going forward. But if you feel otherwise, again, let me know down below if you've heard about the article and your thoughts on it. You think maybe LeBron might have been overreacting on that, or irked, or because certainly, according to the article, it seems like he was irked, is what I gather from it. But let me know your thoughts on that down below in the comments. But before we head to a big night on Friday night, later tonight in the playoffs, do want to go ahead and mention my friends on Kalshi. Man, they are all over the NHL playoffs. Again, I got a chance to see on Thursday night my Golden Knights. Go Knights, go! They advanced on to the Western Conference Finals to face off against the Avalanche after a big victory on the road in Anaheim against the Ducks. I like those Ducks jerseys, though. I like the orange on that. That's just a me thing. But yeah, they were all over. Kalshi was on the advertising. So if you go to Kalshi now, kalshi.com, or download the app, you can take a look and see what they got, because right now it's the playoffs, NHL and NBA, and it's the most electric time in basketball and hockey. On Kalshi, you can trade every single playoff game, every series, the conference finals, and of course the NBA championship. The one I'm looking at today, I know I gave you the odds yesterday on the one I liked. Today, the odds I'm thinking about is LeBron James' next team. What is his next team? And if I was talking to Kalshi on this, I'd say, hey, I'd love for you guys even more to break this top one up. But the one with the top odds is, of course, the Los Angeles Lakers, or he retires. I wish they would break that up into two. I would love to see the odds on that even more, as far as to see how they break it up. And maybe they'll do that. Maybe if you sign up to Kalshi, you go ahead and you can suggest that to them, and they will break that up. But as of now, it's the best odds are Los Angeles Lakers or retiring as one particular category, as far as that's concerned, on the next team, on his next team. Then you have, after that, you have Cleveland with a 24% chance, Golden State with a 10% chance, and then it goes on from there. Phoenix, San Antonio, the Clippers, New York, etc. So if you were to put some money into it, if you were to invest in a trade on that, as far as LeBron James' next team, whether he's staying with the Los Angeles Lakers or retiring, and you invest, let's say, $100 on it. The payout is still a nice chunk of change. You get 159 back if that happens, if he stays with the Lakers or he retires. Again, that's they might break up that into two. So if you want to go ahead and look into it, as far as getting it both covered for you, go ahead and check out Kalshi.com or download the app. Remember, they also got a ton of categories, including what's trending, elections, politics, sports, culture, crypto, commodities, the climate. A lot of trading on the climate, I'll say that. Economics, mentions, companies, financials, tech, and science. They've got a ton of different things you can invest and look into and see what the odds are on it. And again, it's just a really detailed place to go. So go ahead and check it out because on Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as that probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. For a limited time now, download the Kalshi app and use the code FANARCBasketball, all one word, everyone. FANARCBasketball, all one word, to get $10 when you trade. $10. Kalshi, Kalshi. Trade on anything. All right, going to be a big night. You can also look for the odds on Kalshi for what's coming up for later tonight with some big games on tap right there in the NBA playoffs. So when you look at it, I'm going to go ahead and give you the lowdown. It's going to be some interesting game sixes. You got Detroit. Can they go ahead and take it back to Detroit for game seven? Because they're going to be facing off later today against Cleveland. Cleveland finally won a road game. So it's in Cleveland with Cleveland ahead 3-2. San Antonio on the road. Going to look like they want to eliminate Minnesota, but can they? Minnesota has found some intestinal fortitude and strength with emotional victories time and time again. Can they do it again? Let me know your thoughts. Who's going to be the winners for later today in Detroit, Cleveland, and San Antonio, Minnesota? Or will it hit the weekend? Because that'll mean some great games that are going to come back on, I believe on Sunday would be my guess on that. If one or both of those games go to a seventh game, which is game seven. Gotta love it. But let me know your thoughts down below. What will happen in these playoff games? Looking forward to seeing it. And of course, I will give you the recap on tomorrow's Lakers latest as well. But before we head out, love those comments. Keep them coming. Keep them coming as far as those comments right there. And I'm going to go ahead and hit up the comments that I got here a little bit ago. And that was Mission 24 telling me or asking me, any chance we could strike a deal with OKC for this year's draft pick? And in doing so, they would have to give up a future pick they would have to give up a future pick because they have 2 picks in the teens and the Lakers only have number 25. So what they could do is they could package a number 25 and let's say a number, well, they could give up a number 1, but I would maybe hope a number 1 this year and a number 2 to get the 12th or 17th picks from them. I don't know. Yeah, there could be some finagling around Mission 24, but I think that trading with OKC would probably be hard to do. I would say OKC might be inclined to do it, although they are going to be changing up some of their uh, players around the fringes because of cost issues, because of the different their top three is going to be all their money is going to be kicked in as far as it's concerned next season, and they're going to get closer and closer to that second tax apron. So they will be changing some things around the margins. So they might want to keep those 2 picks. We'll wait and see, but that is a possibility. But I think the stronger possibility would be trying to make a trade for San Antonio because San Antonio, as you know, is already a deep team. They have a lot of options. And they also have a lot of draft picks, first rounders coming up as well in the near future. But one of the things they do have is 3 second rounders. And I know Pinty pointed out that he was told by cap specialist Eric Pincus that he heard through Eric Pincus, I believe, was that that the Lakers would be hard capped if they decided to buy into the second round, so to speak. So trying to avoid that, but still looking to San Antonio to try and get one of those 3 second rounders they have, because this is a pretty deep draft still, pending kids deciding to go back to college, because that still could happen now that the draft combine is over. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that's laid itself out. But I think the bigger possibility, Mission 24, is probably the San Antonio picks, one of those picks, um, or go for three. Say, hey, I'll give you the 25 pick if you give us all three of those second rounders. Would that be interesting to you guys? I don't know. I don't know. Just throwing that out there. Let me know your thoughts down below. Love to hear from you on that. And then also as well, JY, who's an avid watcher and viewer, truly appreciate any time I get to interact with him. He always asks great questions. He said he's asking or saying that Luka making demands on who should stay and go, talking about keeping his man bro, his bro friend, Austin Reeves, his golf buddy, Austin Reeves on the team. Luka making demands on who should stay and go. Don't get too comfortable, Luka. Laker fans don't like seeing their superstars miss playoff series. Any thoughts, G? Well, my response to JY was, as we learned with the Westbrook trade, the last thing you want to do as a GM is have a player become heavily involved with who stays and who goes. I mean, ultimately, you have to make, as a GM, the decisions and talent evaluations, and sometimes they're tough. And I'm personally not a fan of keeping and retaining Austin Reeves. I'm figuring out a sign and trade for him to be moved somewhere else for assets somewhere else. That's my personal thing, because I don't think defensively, as far as how good they are offensively, defensively, it's just hard to see Luka and Austin getting through 4 rounds without one of them being totally destroyed on the defensive end. We saw that with Austin Reeves in this last series against SGA, especially in that fourth game where he just absolutely obliterated Luke Kennard and Austin Reeves. And if that, and that's without J Dub, who J Dub, if you remember when SGA was out earlier this season and they played the Lakers, J Dub personally down the stretch went out of his way to destroy Austin Reeves on the defensive end. So again, as much as I like Austin Reeves, it's been said by both Joe Sorrell, my co-host on the other channel, and myself, that Austin Reeves is a guy that probably is best as a sixth man coming off the bench, giving you that instant offense type deal on a championship winning team. But he's not going to be paid, and probably doesn't want to be a sixth man on a championship winning team. He wants to be a starter. So with that said, that starting backcourt will have issues. And I'll go into more detail with this here in the coming days, and we'll focus in on Austin Reeves on one of these days coming up in the near future. But again, let Jay White answer your question. Again, as we learned with the Westbrook trade, you don't want the players dictating exactly who stays and who goes on this on the Lakers team. I don't like it either, as far as what Luka making the demands, as far as trying to get Austin to stay, because Rob will cave in. That's just who Rob is. Rob will eventually cave in and listen to him like he's been listening to Clutch all these years. And as I said on a recent Lakers latest, which I did, JY, I wish they had been more candid about how serious Luka's injury was when more evaluation was done in Spain. So people would have not gotten their hopes up for a Luka return like they did, because I was answering questions left and right during the end of the Houston series and into OKC. Is Luka coming back? Is Luka coming back? Is Luka coming back? I had to hear that in my life from my phone, people calling me, people texting me, is Luka coming back? Luka coming back? And if I would have known then what I knew after the series, when he himself said that they did more serious testing in Spain and found out that it was a lot more serious than originally thought, and when it was originally MRI'd in Dallas, then would have made a life a lot easier for a lot of us trying to answer those questions. It wouldn't have made us any happier, mind you, but at least it would have been a clearer idea. And that's what I think we asked for. And it's a shame that we had to find this out after the playoffs are done for the team, JY. But yeah, Laker fans do not like to see their superstars miss playoff series. They remember that. they'll remember that, and they'll remember Luka not being there when the Lakers were trying to make a run this year. And Nature Boy Ric Flair certainly did. That's for sure, indeed. But great questions on the draft and Luca. My man Pinty obviously has his thoughts as well. Big shout out to him. What did he say lately? His last one was, "We could talk about Rob a lot sooner," which I did. But it will be interesting right after the NBA Finals. I'll talk a little bit more about Rob and obviously the building of the team going forward as well. He will keep Rui and Smart and Kennard, Hayes and Austin in their cap holds. So we'll see. We'll see if he does. We'll see if he does, and bringing the gang back together. I don't know if that'll get the Lakers any closer to what they were this season, but with a healthy Luca, you never know. You never know, indeed. But great to have you here. Thanks so much again for joining me. It's Gerald Glassford. Truly appreciated being part of what we do here. Big shout out to the Fan Art Network, and also as well my friends at the Kalshi service right there for you. You can go ahead and check out what they do at kalshi.com, or just download the app today. And remember, use the code FANARCBASKETBALL to get $10 when you trade $10 on Kalshi. I'll be back tomorrow with an update on the NBA playoffs, some more Lakers thoughts, of course, as well, and wishing you a fantastic Friday from all of us right here at FanArc and the Lakers' latest show. Thanks so much for joining. Thanks so much for watching, listening, and have yourself a great